Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show, where you'll find health and fitness inspiration, motivation, and information shared in 15-minute episodes. Tune in while getting a move on to make leading and enjoying the benefits of a healthy lifestyle almost too easy. It's the Fit 15. And now your host, Catherine Basu.
Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show. I'm your host, Catherine Basu, and today's episode of the Fit 15 is episode 96. This is significant because it means I have to share a few little quick housekeeping things with those of you who are tuning in today, so you are able to continue listening as we go on to record the next 96 episodes. So the first thing I want to share is that we are going to take a break after this first season, the first 100 episodes, which will end up happening on Thursday of next week. And what that means for you is that if you are enjoying the show, you want to make sure you definitely at least subscribe to the podcast so that you are notified when we release the next episode after our break, which will be in August. In addition to subscribing to the show, if you've been loving the podcast, this little break would be a great time to leave us your honest review in iTunes and or Stitcher. That will really help more people find the podcast. And of course, it will really make my day and motivate me to continue to record episodes. On that note, I wanted to share that if you have any topics you'd like me to cover, guests you would like to have me invite on the show, or want to share anything else that's on your mind, I invite you to shoot me an email. The email address for the show is podcast@fitarmadillo.com. Fit Armadillo is the sponsor of the Fit 15 and my fitness company. And if you send me that email, that will help me as I head into July and might not be releasing new episodes, but will be recording new episodes. So I would love to make sure that I'm bringing on guests and focusing on topics that you want to learn about. So do not miss that step. It's going to help me with one of my main goals for the podcast, which is to make sure it's more your podcast than just mine. So I really appreciate those of you who are listening today, whether it's your first episode or 96th. Let's dive into today's episode. Today's episode of the Fit 15 is a Meet the Trainer episode, and I'm going to introduce you to our trainer, Lisa Patten. Lisa is an ACE certified personal trainer, certified spinning instructor, professional fitness writer who currently writes for Certified Personal Trainer exams, and as a health and fitness expert with lifehack.org. Lisa is a powerlifter, Navy veteran, and full-time wife and mommy. So welcome to the podcast, Lisa. I'm excited to have you as my guest today.
I'm excited to be here.
So I read your bio, and I know that you've done some blog posts, some written posts for us over on the Fit Armadillo blog, since you do accept online personal training clients through Fit Armadillo. But for those people who maybe haven't checked out the blog yet and are just joining us through the podcast, could you share a little bit about your fitness journey and what made you want to pursue a career in the fitness industry?
Sure. Well, I'm an ACE certified trainer. And I decided to get certified after I left the military. I was in the Navy for 7 years, and I realized that when I was on deployment, the only constant I had that I could always depend on was going to the gym. So that I'd been going to the gym for a long time before that, but never as constantly as during deployments. So when I came out of the military and I was ready to settle down and start a family, I wanted to look into a career that would allow me to be home with my son when I needed to be, but also had a lot of room for growth. So I first tried with AFAA to become certified, but actually then was surge deployed before I got to finish that certification.
Got it.
So when I came back, I decided to go with ACE because due to that deployment, they offered me a really great discount. And I had heard such really good things about it, and AFA just wasn't kind of offering the same thing. And they wanted me to commit to a full weekend. And I was afraid I would get deployed again and have to miss it.
Right.
So I could study on my own and take my books with me on deployment when I went through ACE. So I did that. And then I eventually fell in love with powerlifting at the gym, heavy lifting. And I was challenged last year by a bunch of my friends to do a local competition, a local meet. And I did, and I blew them out of the water. I won hands down. And that was just hugely encouraging for
Yeah.
me. So I realized that I tried my entire life to be an endurance athlete, to be a runner, to be, to have that body type that like people seem to be chasing. And
Right.
I had to struggle so much to even get close to it. And then I realized that this like heavy lifting that's what my body was meant to do. Like it thrives on it. It comes easily. I increase strength really quickly and I retain muscle quickly. Whereas a lot of people have the alternative problem. They have trouble building muscle. And I realized that that's just what my body type is for. And so I have been trying to encourage other women to get into the gym and lift because it's empowering and we belong there.
I mean, we definitely take better care of the equipment, I would say, and keep it more organized, not that.
Oh, absolutely.
Or
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
It.
Yep. And we're much more polite too to each other, but
yes.
I guess it all depends on your clientele at the gym.
Right, I know, right? So what would you say, I mean, for someone listening who, wants to have that feeling of being empowered and do it through weightlifting versus running or cardio or wants to maybe just branch out, what would you say to help them start, crossing over to the other side of the gym and making that first step?
I mean, hands down, one of the best things you could do is get a good trainer to show you the ropes, but that's not necessarily an option for everybody.
Right.
And so there are a lot of videos that you can watch and there are a lot of other people you can reach out to for advice, such as any of your trainers, for example, or me. Shameless plug. But there are a lot of programs out there that are made for beginners. And they're, more simple moves. They're based on, like, for example, Strong Lifts 5x5 is based on the 5 basic lifts: a deadlift, bench press, squat, overhead press, and bent over row. And if you Google Strong Lifts or you look it up on Facebook, there are tons of people out there who are running these programs. And that will get you...
Hi friends, it's Catherine, and if you are joining us for a 15-minute out and back walk, we are 7.5 minutes into today's episode, halfway through, so you want to make sure that you turn around now. All right, back to Lisa.
Very basically and introductorily, is that a word? Introductorily.
Yeah, I think words all the time though, so I don't know if you should ask me that question.
Well, get you introduced to exercises that require the barbell, because that's really the biggest change. Is, for example, I'm 5 feet tall. An Olympic barbell is 7 feet tall. So that is a big object to be flinging around and handling in terms of balance and how to maneuver that around what is often a crowded space in the gym. But that will definitely give you a good basis. And then when you want to do any extra movements, the free weight machines are always a good option, because it'll show you exactly, usually they're broken up by body part. And so you can go maybe 3 machines in a row, and that will get your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, for example. And that in itself is a decent end to a workout.
Love it. So if we're at home, is there anything, like if we don't have any weight equipment yet, is there something we could do to like start preparing?
Well, yeah, if you were starting at home and you wanted to get into that type of lifting, all of those exercises can be done without the weight itself. Or I go away for weekends all the time with my son. If my husband is traveling, I figure, why should we sit at home? So we go away, and one thing I always bring with me is a gallon of water. Or I'll stop at the store and I grab, snacks for him and 2 gallons of water, because if you're going to stay at a hotel or you're going to stay at a house, I don't necessarily always know if the drinking water is any good. But I will use a gallon of water in each hand. And you could do all sorts of things with that, right? You could deadlift it, you could curl it, you could press it overhead, and you don't have to fill it up all the way. It grows with you.
Yep. No, that's true. I love that. It's a good tip. And I don't know if you have any recommendations. You said that you can find a lot of good resources for strong lifts online. Do you have any that you've seen just from your experience, writing content for some of the exams or just anything like that are like good resources that actually had the form down correctly?
That's a good point. Well, that's a good question, because you're right. If you haven't been studying to be a trainer, you don't have access to those books. However, you can go on the ACE website, and all of their blog posts are available to the public without logging in. So I would probably start on either ACE or NASM site, and it'll give you the basic form. And ACE also does YouTube videos where they explain those things.
Yeah, and they do have a really good library, actually, now that you're saying that.
Yeah, and the truth is, like, you just need something that's not like Jimmy Bob in his basement on YouTube, right? Because you can't trust those people all the time. And
even if he has a million views.
Especially if he has a million viewers. I see such bad advice that especially if you're first starting out, you could genuinely get very hurt.
Right.
But Strong Lifts also has, like, for example, a free version of their app. And basically it's like powerlifting for dummies. No offense to anybody who wants to use it. Sure. but when you download it, you put in what the max is, like, say for a bench press, right? And let's say you can only bench press the bar, which is 45 or 55 pounds. You put that in, and it does all the math calculations for you over the course of the weeks. So it'll tell you, this week you should do 5 sets of 5 reps of 45 pounds, and next week you should do 50 pounds, or whatever the case may be. And it includes warm-up sets. And then let's say next week you were benching 80 pounds and you did not complete your 5 sets, and your 5 reps, like it asks. When you fail, I think it's 2 or 3 times, it deloads it for you. So you don't need to know, like, you don't just keep like chasing that same number. Like, if you get to a certain weight and you stall out, it'll deload the percentage back down to help you get over that plateau.
Got it. Very cool. Love that. And you've also started, you became a spinning instructor. So could you share any insights on that? Or maybe with some of the things we chatted about before we started recording, like things to avoid in spinning class? Or
Sure. Yes. I could go on and on.
So maybe this is another episode. I don't know.
It might be, right. Does everyone have time? So yes, I recently, I guess a few months ago, became certified through Mad Dog Spinning as a spin instructor. And it's important to note that not every indoor cycling class is a spinning class.
Sure.
So spinning is a registered trademark and registered copywritten by Mad Dog Athletics. And in order for a class to be a spinning class, every instructor there has to be Mad Dog certified. The facility itself has to be a Mad Dog certified facility. And every bike in the facility needs to be what Mad Dog calls a spinner, a specific spinning bicycle. So a lot of the time people will advertise spin, but what you're looking at is indoor cycling. And that's not to say that's a bad thing. It's just how Mad Dog controls their quality, right? Because they don't want you going to, I won't use another brand name. They don't want you going to another class and it being advertised as spin and it being terrible and you associating it with them. Because they are considered the top-notch upper echelon of instructors. So if you've ever gone to a class and they're blasting the music, which is sometimes okay if you're into that kind of thing, but it's like that screaming high energy, but they're push-ups on the handlebars, or at any point in time they instruct you to let go of the handlebars. Or one thing I've even seen the best of instructors do is they call them touch and goes, which is different than a jump, but it's like, or a hover even, like where you get up out of the seat and barely hover over the seat. Like Mad Dog boasts, and this is why I chose them, because being a test writer myself, like I'm a total book nerd and nerd for the rules.
Yep.
And like I embrace it all. And so they're based on science and outdoor cycling. And being someone who recently got into outdoor cycling as well, I want something that translates, because I live in the Northeast where it snows 7 months out of the year, it seems. And so I don't want to spend those 7 months on an exercise that won't make me perform better in the actual on season through the summer.
Right.
So all the classes are specifically designed, they're unlike what a lot of people think. You're not just a bicycling DJ, right? Like there should be some kind of science behind how long your warm up is and why you're warming up that way. And a good instructor will explain all of that to you. And if you're brand new to cycling, absolutely show up 5 minutes early and ask that instructor to set you up on the bike, because it's a safety concern, but also you want to get the most bang for your buck, right? You want to get the most out of class and make it the best, most benefit for you.
Yeah.
And you can't do that if you're reaching for the bottom of the pedal, or if you're too low and your knees are hitting you in the face.
I know that's definitely need some quick, and it won't take that long, like you said, 5 minutes, as long as everyone in the class isn't new, but getting more education so you enjoy it more too, right? I mean,
right, absolutely. And even then, I have been in the first 10 minutes of class and had a student walk in, and if the instructor is properly trained, they don't need to be on the bike to be coaching you.
Right.
There's no reason why they can't hop off and get you set up really quick. Given like maybe not in the middle of a sprint set, but you probably don't want to hop in on that anyway. You should just turn around and leave.
Right. Oh, awesome. Well, Lisa, one thing I've been asking the trainers sometimes when we do our little Meet the Trainer episode is, since the episodes are about 15 minutes long, depending on the day and my skill at not chatting too much and getting too excited. But what would you do if you only had 15 minutes, to go get a workout in? Like, what might you do to make the most of that time?
Oh, this happens to me all the time, actually. Because I chat too much at the gym. If I only had 15 minutes, I would do some kind of HIIT workout. And because of the type of training that I like, which involves heavy weightlifting, I like to maybe do a Tabata that alternates a weighted activity with a body weight activity. And excuse me. And I would usually go on Spotify or even Amazon Music and download a Tabata song, because everything is counted out for you. Right. And so it'll give you the countdown, and you can pick your ratio, 20 and 40 or whatever you want. And it's been so crowded, I don't have room, do a Tabata on the rower, or do a Tabata on hill sprints on a treadmill, or do a Tabata that's just 2 different exercises, because a true Tabata is the same exercise for the full 4 minutes. So you don't need to, you don't need to, like, if you have 15 minutes, like there's no need to like take out the medicine ball and a jump rope and weights and a kettlebell and then bear crawl across and then like find an ab machine, right? Like the idea is to be efficient. So even if you're crazy enough, even if you wanted to do a whole Tabata of burpees and then a whole Tabata of squats and lunges, like that's what I would choose to do, because it sounds easy, but I challenge you to try it. Right? It sounds easy. Even in the moment when I write it down on my whiteboard and I go, I'm just going to knock this out, halfway through, I'm negotiating.
I told you I had Dina Castro on, and we were just talking about like the power of our mind over our body, right? And just, really, the negotiator can come in and have to get the other negotiator to negotiate you through the workout.
Yes. And I'm telling you, the lazy one is really good. He's really good. But I say that halfway through, most of my spin classes are an hour long. And I love interval work, because I have clients who can't stand on the bike because of knee problems, or I have clients that need to, if they're endurance racers, they actually don't want their heart rate to hit like that 80% and above.
Mm-hmm.
So I can modify very easily. Like instead of standing up, just increase your cadence. Instead of increasing your cadence, increase your resistance for this interval. And so it works really well when I have a large group. But no matter what, the last 15 minutes, I usually say something along the lines of like, you are no longer exercising your body. Like that part is over. Like this is all mind work now. Like you are exercising like your strength of will, your perseverance, your motivation, like your desire. Like today I stared at the banana in my duffel bag on the treadmill for 15 minutes. Like, don't eat it. You can't be the one who's eating a banana on the treadmill at the gym. People will take a picture and make you a meme. Like,
right.
But it's true. Like, and I always tell them that is the most important part of the whole workout. Right? Because like it's hard to get there, but it's really hard when you say I'm going to do 60 minutes, like minutes like 55 through 60 are the hardest.
Hi friends, it's Catherine, and I'm breaking in here to pause my conversation with Lisa for now because we started talking about her most recent accomplishment, becoming a triathlete, and that conversation was enough for its own episode. So that is your second reason to subscribe to the podcast now so that you don't miss the continuation of our conversation on Monday, June 25th, 2018. And the first reason, in case you missed it when I started the episode for you today, we are going on a little break between this season 1 of the Fit 15, which will end with episode 100. So you still have a few more episodes next week and start up again in August of 2018. So I don't want you to miss out on being reminded of when we start up again. So make sure you subscribe so you can stay in touch with us. During the month of July, I won't be releasing new episodes, but I will be recording episodes. So please shoot me an email, podcast@fitarmadillo.com, for your chance to share who you'd like to hear from, topics you'd like me to cover, and I will do my best to get those guests on deck for season 2 of the Fit 15. And before I leave you, I want to mention that you can find in the show notes for today's show all Lisa's contact info, but her website is barbellsandbabes.net, and you can find a link to her calendar for private online fitness sessions that she does for us over at my fitness company, Fit Armadillo, the sponsor of the Fit 15 podcast show. So definitely check that out. Or you can go directly to her calendar by going to fitarmadillo.com/Lisa. If you scroll down there, you can also see some of her blog posts that she's done and learn more about Lisa if you want to read about her versus just hear about her. All right, well, if you subscribe, I will chat with you on Monday. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Fit 15. For show notes and more, visit fitarmadillo.com/podcast. See you next time.
You're still here, and I came back because I wanted to share a message from the Fit 15's sponsor, my fitness company, Fit Armadillo, and that is that we've continued our online small group fitness classes. For those of you who are not familiar with this, we offered some sessions over two-way video chat so you can see your instructor and your instructor can see you, very much like what we do with our private fitness sessions, but instead of limiting the sessions to just one person, having it be more semi-private so that the group classes are capped at 11 participants. So it's a great way for you to hold yourself accountable to a time you're going to be attending class and have all the fun of a group class, but not the inconvenience of going to a gym or joining the gym or the commitment of a gym. You can just join one class if you would like, and we're really excited about this because it's a great way for you to get to meet our instructors a little bit more and our certified personal trainers a little bit more, so that if you do want to go on to enjoy private sessions with them, you can kind of get a little taste of their style first. So if this sounds fun for you, head on over to fitarmadillo.com/classes and you can see the classes that we have coming up this month. We're going to offer one class a week on average until things pick up more. So definitely Complete the survey on that same page if you don't see any times that fit your schedule or you have a format that's not listed that you'd like to see. We are open to your feedback and really excited to expand this offering for you. Thanks so much for listening. I hope to work out with you in a class soon. Bye.